Welcome back, guys, to another Tesla video. Today we got big things that we want to talk about, especially with ARK Invest and also Cathie Wood. Their team and also their ETFs recently have been doing really poorly. But if you want to invest in something super volatile and very meme worthy, then a lot of her ETFs are definitely going to be for you. The ARK-K, ARK-W, ARK-F ETFs have always done extremely well in the past 5 years. Just recently, there's a massive decline in the stock price. In fact, a lot of her ETFs are down roughly 25 to 30% at this moment. And it could be a really amazing time to buy the dip. The reason why her stocks are going down so much is because Tesla stock is going down. Remember, an ETF is a combination of several different companies, and a lot of her ETFs, roughly 8 to 10% of what's inside, is simply Tesla stock. That just makes it extremely volatile. But right now, Cathie Wood of ARK Invest has noted that her team still remains very optimistic about the electric car maker. And guess what? If you check out some of the daily reports, Cathie Wood is actually increasing her stake in Tesla stock. She essentially feels this is a really amazing buying opportunity. If you feel like a stock has good fundamentals, which Tesla obviously does, then feel free to simply buy the dip, and eventually once the bull market starts up, it will start going back up again. I feel like Tesla's massive decline in the stock price is fully unjustified because they've always had good news. I think it's just like an overheating in the market and we expect a massive cool off, which is exactly what happened. I mean, Tesla lost like 30-35% of its valuation in the past 3 weeks of trading. It's not really looking so good, but some individuals are slowly buying the dip. And I'm pretty sure a lot of hedge funds are doing the same thing. The reason why is you got like inflation, you got some really crazy economic times. A lot of big banks and rich people are putting their money in treasury bonds. And when you got all this money being siphoned away from the stock market, obviously you should be seeing a massive decline. But once you see the treasury bonds declining, more people are willing to be investing in these stocks, especially how the whole entire stock market right now is so oversold. And during a CNBC segment, ARK Invest actually talked about why they are more confident in Tesla now, even though the share prices have dropped and even though there's massive arrivals of competitors from other legacy automakers. I mean, you got BMW, GM, Ford, all making electric vehicles in the next 5 years. How can Tesla keep up with this sort of competition, and how can they still have an even higher market cap? Cathie has actually explained that Tesla is actually one of her best performing stocks, and they feel like Tesla could definitely go up even further, particularly because Tesla is extremely focused on the battery aspect and the self-driving aspect. One of the biggest things going on right now in the car manufacturing business is everyone is trying to make electric vehicles. If you look at 3 years ago, no one was making electric vehicles but Tesla, which really makes Tesla really special. But now, since everyone is making electric vehicles, if you just simply make EVs, you're not special anymore. And when you're not special, your market cap goes down, your share prices go down to a more realistic point, and that's where investors feel like it should be. But it's really interesting that ARK feels like Tesla's valuation should be even higher. Now, we don't know what the exact number of the valuation they're putting on, but it should be coming out in a week or two. That's what their new forecast is. I think they're trying to add things up real quick, making sure everything's all right. And once they publish this, I feel like a lot of investors would definitely take note. A lot of times she is right. There are some really crazy valuations she's thrown out for Tesla and Bitcoin. And who knows, maybe in the near future, Bitcoin and Tesla could definitely be hitting those crazy price targets. And so far, I feel like there's a lot of enthusiasm for Tesla because of their electric vehicles. But more importantly, everyone is expecting them to be making good batteries. I feel like good batteries in this era will definitely set you apart in the EV game. If you check out Mercedes, BMW, for example, they're making some really incredible electric vehicles, but guess what? They're all facing a massive battery shortage. Lithium, nickel, cobalt are in super high demand, and they're not mining it fast enough for everyone else. This is almost similar to like the chip shortage that we have right now. And by the way, talking about chip shortage, it's going to be very difficult, especially how a lot of these autonomous vehicles, the EVs, are extremely tech heavy. So having a massive chip shortage isn't really good in that aspect either. And so far, I feel like Tesla could definitely manage this. They're trying to secure as much nickel and much lithium as possible. They're making all these massive battery stations and battery farms. And they even have a battery production center in Berlin, which when it's fully operational in the next 5 years, it will be the biggest battery factory in the world. And the second biggest battery factory will also be owned by Tesla. It's the Nevada Gigafactory. So you get the idea here. You can't make a bunch of electric vehicles if you don't have the batteries. In fact, so many other third-party battery companies don't even have factories yet. They're still in the prototype phase. And once again, ARK Invest will be publishing this new forecast in a week or two, and I'm really interested about what price target they will be picking. I feel like they could be picking a roughly short-term price target of $1,000 for Tesla, and maybe even $5,000, maybe $3,000 a share for a Tesla stock. I know that sounds super crazy, but usually when ARK Invest gives out valuations for these meme-worthy stocks, it's some really crazy high valuations that really shock people. So I'm really interested to see what this is going to be about. We will definitely be talking about this in the future, but right now we're going to have to wait because so far Tesla seems to be doing really well with all these traditional luxury brands. Even with the Porsche Taycan coming out, Tesla sales went up. Even when NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto in China came out with their own electric vehicles, and several of them, Tesla Model 3 and Model Y sales still went up. In fact, it almost feels like if there's more competition, more people get dragged into the EV market. They look around, but they eventually will buy a Tesla. That's what's going on. It's almost like free advertising from the major car companies. When a major car company announces a brand new electric vehicle, all eyes turn on them. And when the buying day comes, a lot of people look around and they actually want to check out a Tesla and they actually buy it. It's pretty insane. And last but not least, we gotta talk about the autopilot. I think the reason why Tesla will ever be worth more than $1 trillion is because of the autopilot system. If they didn't have the autopilot system, I would never be investing in Tesla. It's just way too risky. But because of the autopilot system and you can actually have robo-taxis, they will be doing extremely well. Currently, no other car company in the world can have as good as an autopilot as Tesla. Yes, I get it. There's LiDAR companies and there's also other car companies. But right this second, if you want to go to a store and get a fully autonomous vehicle, you can't really go to any other car companies. You got to go to Tesla. They're coming out with the full self-driving beta for a wider release. And a lot of people will be able to drive on major highways and also inner cities. It will recognize pedestrians, lines on the road, stop signs, etc. So it's actually really, really dope. So I can't wait to see what Tesla has to offer here. And eventually we should be hitting full autonomy at the end of 2021, which is level 5. Right now, Tesla has a level 2 autonomy, but everyone says it's a level 3 because you could drive very, very easily in inner cities. So we should be seeing perhaps level 5 at the end of this year, and maybe a brand new robotaxi network starting in the US, most likely Las Vegas, next year, 2022. If you look at all these different catalysts, it makes Tesla look like more of a battery productions company than a car company. It makes them look more of a software company than a manufacturing branch. So it's pretty interesting. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. How do you guys feel about this car company? And are you guys going to be buying the dip on Tesla?